This is a short video on how to make your Vex Clawbot move in a circle 5 times using a for loop. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the RobotC icon, and I'm going to go to File, Open Sample Program, and make sure, of course, I'm in the Vex2 folder. If you're not in the Vex2 folder, we go back to Sample Programs, and we click on Vex2. And today we're going to click on Control Structures. In Control Structures, I want to select for loop. And first and foremost, we want to change this, the hardware setup so that it matches our own robot. We know we plug the right motor into port 10, left motor into port 1, and we change that really quick, and that's good to go. And we're going to scroll down here to the main screen where we have our program. And you can see right here we have task main, we have wait 1 millisecond 2,000 times, and you guys are familiar with those. The third line of code, though, is something that you haven't seen before. And this is going to be our for loop. So essentially, these are the conditions of our for loop. A loop is just a chunk of code, which is, in this program specifically, these chunks, or this whole chunk of code is basically run again and again and again until a certain condition is met. And this is going to make sense as we go along. And right here where it says int I is equal to 0, again, we're just going to go through these 3 little bits of code step by step. Where it says int I is equal to 0, we're declaring a variable I, that's an integer, and we're setting its initial value equal to 0. So hopefully you guys remember that from some of the Arduino lessons we did. If we want to declare a variable, we do that by typing in the words int or float or other words that are used to describe variables. And then the next little chunk of code says that I is less than 20. So basically what this means is that this chunk of this loop will be run again and again and again as long as the value of I is less than 20. And last but not least, this I++, and it does a pretty good job over here, I increases by 1 after each iteration, or after each cycle. So essentially, the value of I starts at 0. After I go through the code 1 time, my value of I is going to be equal to 1. After I go through a second loop, my value of I is going to be equal to 2. So basically, I is like a little tracker of how many times we've cycled through the code. And after each time we cycle through the code, the value of I will increase by 1. And as long as I is less than 20, this cycle is just going to keep happening. But once it reaches past 20, the code is going to stop. So you can see how the for loop is working right here. This code is just going to be executed 20 times, and then the program's just going to terminate because then I is going to be equal to 21. So the code just stops. So if I wanted these chunks of code to run 300 times, I would just change this to 300 right here. So as long as I is less than 300, this code is going to continue to run. It's going to run through again and again and again and again. But right now, let's just go ahead and keep it at 20. But I want our circle, so we're actually going to change it to 5 because I want our robot to run in a circle 5 times. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this because we don't really need it. And next you're probably going to ask yourself, well, how do I make my robot run in a circle? And essentially what we want to do is just make one motor move a little bit faster than the other one. So I'm going to change the right motor speed to 127, which is full speed, and I'm going to go ahead and change the left motor speed to, let's say, about 40. So if my robot's sitting in front of me, I know that the right wheels are going to spin a lot faster than the left wheels. They're still both going to move forward, but my right side is going to be moving a lot faster. So if you think about it, you upload this to your robot, you put it on the ground, you turn on the microcontroller, your robot's just going to run essentially in a circle. And so that's all in good, and we need to know how many seconds it's going to take for our robot to run in a circle. And I'm not really sure about that. I'm going to go ahead and say 5 seconds. So 5,000 milliseconds. So if the robot's on the ground and it's the right motor is going full speed ahead, the left motor is going a little bit less than half speed ahead, for about 5 seconds, I think it will make a complete circle. So essentially, this bit of code now means that my robot will move in a circle. So I just want to repeat this 5 times. So instead of 20, I'm just going to change this to 5. And then I'm just going to upload this to my robot. And I'm going to turn on the robot, and then it should just execute the code after waiting for, again, 2 milliseconds. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks for watching.